Everyone hates the Knicks. Good. Let's keep it that way. I saw something on Instagram today that I absolutely love. It was all 5 of our starters dressed as the Men in Black, and it said Men in Black Knicks. They're fantastic. It's a cool thing, but you read the comments on all the non-Knick fan, they're picking up this because it's the finals, and majority of the comments are Go Spurs. Everyone hates the Knicks. Good. Let's keep it that way. They are on fire. And maybe you'll disagree with me. This is probably one of the most fascinating finals matchups we've had in years because it's a huge difference in types of play and they have different strengths. These teams are very different. I'm Camden from Fort Worth, Texas.
And I'm Mitch from Westfield, New Jersey.
And this is Big Apple Benches and Bleachers,
a father-son sports podcast. All right, Cam, we're back for another episode. Benches and Bleachers, where are you?
I'm in Fort Worth, and where are you?
I'm in New Jersey, and we are, well, tonight's a big night. Why is tonight a big night?
Tonight is game 1 of the Knicks' first finals appearance in the 2000s.
Yes,
so
since
I think that on that accord,
yes,
let's have a toast to our New York Knicks. What do you think about that?
We could do that. What are we going to do?
I got a glass. I got
Okay.
a brand new bottle of Old Fitzgerald bottled in bond. I'm going to crack the seal, and we're going to toast our Knicks tonight.
All right, I'll do a little Blanton's. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Do a little bit of Blanton's. Okay.
All right.
Put it up there. Did I show you I got a bottle of Booker's from our friend Neil in South Carolina?
Awesome. Thank you, Neil.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Right. All right. And then we're going to recap the Western Conference Finals. We'll talk about the Thunders and the Spurs. Then we'll talk about the matchup. And then if we got some time, we'll go around the world and see what else is going on in sports. But we may not have time. So
now this, ladies and gentlemen, is a Knicks Finals edition of Benches and Bleachers. So
right.
if you think that you're going to get away with this being not all about the Knicks, tune into the next episode.
This is actually the next episode, Cam, we're doing on Sunday because your sister's studying for the DAT. And so we promised Sundays, the next 2 Sundays. That will be just before game 4.
Man.
So we'll see what's going on at that point. All right. So we got to do our Knicks toast, right?
All right.
So you toast.
Cheers to Jalen, OG,
yes.
Kat, Mikhail, Josh, and the rest of the New York Knicks. And hopefully they bring home the chip.
Go New York, go New York, go.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Wow, that is very smooth.
Well, maybe we get him as a sponsor at some point. Okay. All right. So why don't you want to talk about we'll go to the preview of the finals after, but why don't we talk about the Spurs, Thunder, Western Conference Finals?
Man, that
because Wemby was pretty impressive.
That was a competitive series.
Yeah, you think?
And I was very impressed with the Spurs.
Yeah,
I
just
think
didn't
that
have what it took.
Yeah, the Thunder just didn't have enough gas in the tank.
Yeah, Wemby averaged 31, almost 32 points a game, 13 rebounds. I mean, the guy's a defensive animal. I mean, that's the thing. We gotta watch out for him. But listen, I told you that this is exactly what we wanted. We wanted them to go 7 games, beat the hell out of each other. We sweep in 4. We're nice, well rested, and then we got to get back in the groove. You know?
I agree. So
yeah,
OKC, enjoy Cancun. You guys aren't that special,
right?
Maybe try again next year.
SGA's special, but he can't carry the team.
No, he can't.
It's not. I know it's only 5 guys on the floor at any given time, but he can't carry the team. So, from the stuff I've seen, the criticism of what was going on, that Thunder really wasn't attacking the rim well. Their offensive efficiency dropped tremendously. I would say after game 3. So I guess the Spurs won game 4, if I'm right. No, it was 2-1 going into the game 4. The Thunder, I think, won game 4. And then they also won game 5 because the Spurs took the one back, in and in San Antonio, and then one Game 7 in OKC.
In dominant fashion, might I add.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that have told me, oh, you must be worried. My friend Archer said, oh, dude, you must be worried. I said, why would I be worried? You guys just went 7 games with the Thunder, and we swept our last 2 series. We have the largest point differential in 10 games across the NBA 11 games now.
Right.
Across the NBA history, playoffs or regular season.
And we don't need to play that well to beat these guys.
No, we don't.
And if we do, it's going to be a slaughter. There was also I heard somebody I forget who it was, but sports news. They were saying that in Game 6 and 7, like OKC was clearly avoiding the paint.
Yes.
They weren't getting down in there.
Yeah,
maybe because of Wemby.
Wemby's massive. So
correct.
You don't go in the paint because you don't want to get swatted on, but that's not how you win an NBA championship. So
yeah, Game 6 OKC had 40% shooting. Wemby had 14 blocks. He had 11 in Game 7.
Man.
So, and they had the Spurs in this, although the Thunder was up there, but not as much. Spurs had 48 rebounds in per game.
Per game on average in the series?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
RPG, isn't that rebounds per game?
That's a lot.
So they average. Yeah, the Thunder only averaged 40, so that's a big difference.
So let's transition a little bit.
Yeah.
To the Eastern Conference Finals. I know that we had our episode post Game 1, right? Wasn't that post Game 1?
That was post Game 1, yeah.
So, like I said, then we broke their will. They weren't coming back and winning that series. I would have been surprised if they won a game. And you know what? They didn't. So that about sums up the Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks win it in dominant fashion, and they move on to the finals.
Yeah, but one of the reasons why they broke their will is because, Cleveland really came out of the blocks playing well in that game. I mean, they were manhandling us that whole game, right? Mm-hmm. By some miracle or the will of the captain, Jalen Brunson.
That's what it was.
We took them apart. And by the end of the game, I think these guys had so much invested emotionally at that point. They were doing so well. They're like, we're going to take these guys. And we did something that I don't know any team's ever done in the playoffs, barely during the regular season. And then they were like, what? And then the next game, these guys came out on fire again. And they're like, what? And it just snowballed from there. I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but if we come out on fire like this and we're hitting those buckets are raining down in San Antonio,
it's going to be hard for them. I mean, look, Jalen and Josh were talking on the roommates this week about what the Eastern Conference Finals was like, and Matt asked them, like, do you think the series was over at the end of Game 1? And Jalen said no, but he slowly builds. He said he thinks less it had an effect on them and more it had an effect on the Knicks because they were like, oh shit, we should start like this every game, and then they did after that, and so that's a huge
confidence boost for them.
Huge. So let's do a finals preview. Okay.
Before the game. We can do that.
So I saw something on Instagram today that I absolutely loved. Yeah. And it was all 5 of our starters dressed as the Men in Black. And it said Men in Black, Knicks. And then there's all kinds of pictures, Clarkson and Kolick. And they're fantastic. And the whole thing is Wemby's the alien. So we're the galactic protectors. We're going to save the universe. And so I think that as they were pulling up to San Antonio, Jalen Brunson was walking up there like, the Men in Black with the sunglasses and so I think it was, it's a cool thing, but also like you read the comments on all the non-Knick fan, not like San Antonio fan, but
the haters.
Polymarket Sports, anything that's like generic sports news reporting. Now they're picking up this because it's the finals, and majority of the comments are "Go Spurs." Everyone hates the Knicks. Good. Let's keep it that way. They are on fire, and if we keep playing like that, it will be a fun series, to say the least.
No, it's going to be a battle, though. There's no question about it.
I mean, I would say that, and maybe you'll disagree with me, this is probably one of the most fascinating finals matchups we've had in years because it's a huge difference in types of play, right?
Yes.
And they have different strengths. These teams are very different. And so,
look at Jalen Brunson. We got a little guy, we got a big guy, probably one of the best offensive guards in the league. And we got this guy who's like a, what do we say, like a two-way dominant player on the defense and the offense. But I don't think, besides Wemby, they don't have a lot of big men like we do. They don't have Mitchell Robinson and Cat and OG. I think we got a deeper bench.
Castle's pretty big. I mean,
yeah, but he's not that big.
Look, the truth of the matter is,
maybe when Wemby's on the court, it makes everybody look small. I don't know.
It does. The OG is 6'5" or 6'8", something like that.
Right.
He would make me look like I'm you compared to me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but the Knicks have been the most dominant playoff team statistically, probably ever.
Yeah.
Okay?
So right.
But the Spurs have the best player in the league and also probably the best defense. At least
interestingly enough, according to what I looked up, the Knicks have an offensive rating of about a little over 123, and the Spurs only 116. The Spurs are rated on defense at almost 105, and we're at 103.5. So
because of the run we've
pretty
been
good
on.
Defense. Correct. Our margin of victory is almost plus 24, and they're almost plus 10.
Exactly. So I think crazy. That there's a good chance that we.
But our rebounds are up there with them. Our blocks per game are much lower, of course. But our field goal percentage is better.
I mean, and San Antonio just survived the toughest series in the playoffs by far. So, we'll give them some props for that. But, I mean, I would say this series is essentially the NBA's best offensive guard, Sumi, versus the NBA's most dominant two-way player. And that is going to make for a cinema of a finals. Like, this is going to be insane.
Crazy.
And
well, you could be sure that in where they're drawing up the plays in the locker room for the Spurs, they're focusing on Brunson. Because he single-handedly brought that team back in Game 1 against Cleveland.
Yeah,
There's no question about it.
Yeah, but also we're running all of our offense through Karl-Anthony Towns. So do you really focus on Brunson? Not really. You got to focus on him. And then if you focus on those two, then you're pulling people away from McHale and OG.
Right. Well, that's what makes us so good, right? Because when Brunson was having an off night, instead he's getting assists and rebounds and passing the ball and steals. And
the last time we played the Spurs, the last few times we played the Spurs, or I think at least the last time, they put Wemby on Josh Hart.
Okay.
Defensively.
Okay.
Basically, what they're saying is we're daring Josh to shoot. If he drives the paint, Wemby will swat him. But if they're passing, Wemby is open to guard other people on the outside of the perimeter, right? So this playoffs, if they play that way, at least part of it is going to be a big Josh moment. We need clutch Hart threes. Because
there's no question about it. If we could stay out of if we can't win in the paint, if we got to go be winning on 2-point shots in the paint, Wemby's going to be all over us. But probably OG, McHale, and Josh are the best perimeter trio in the league.
I mean, not to mention Carl's a great 3-point shooter, and so is Jalen. So
it depends. Well, Jalen is. Cat sometimes gets hot, sometimes doesn't. But he's an inside guy. Anyway.
But also we have a lot of guys that can make midi jumpers. So, if you
that's true.
Act like you're going towards the bucket and then you fake and you step back and you draw a little bit of room away from Wemby, McHale's,
McHale's the king of the fadeaway this series.
So, we're going to see. I got my New York or Nowhere shirt on today. Shout out to Leighton, my sister, for
got
this.
My Brunson shirt. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And the signature Warren Lotus Knicks hat. I always have this on. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like this hat, they have been sold out forever, and Warren Lotus just restocked because the Knicks are in the finals. So go and grab one. This is my favorite hat I own by far.
You do not get a commission for that. So
no, I do not. But I thought
if we did someday.
I thought about buying another one so that I have one dead stock in my closet just in case this one gets ruined. But
so here's something that's interesting. If you think about this, they say that Wemby, because he's so tall, changes the geometry of basketball. Like, it's not just about blocks.
Oh, I would agree.
It's about a lot. It's about a lot of things, and he can just like Cat. Cat catches the ball and keeps his hand up, and he can pass it. Wemby can put the ball all kinds of places that we can't get to. So,
yes, he can.
Against Oklahoma, they held their drives back. The layups disappeared. Transition attack slowed down, and that's kind of stuff we got to watch for.
I mean, the only difference, they both have 12 wins, of course, because you need 12 to get into the finals. But the Knicks have only lost 2, and the Spurs have lost 6. It's a big difference.
But different teams are playing. By the way, they say San Antonio, the games they win, they make the paint unusable. But ironically, that's where the Knicks lead the playoffs in point scoring, in the paint.
It's going to be interesting because if they can make the paint unusable, they're going to force our hand with threes all the time. But
if we're making threes, it's good. If we're not, how do you get Wemby? How do you take Wemby out of the game?
But if you're making threes, then we're going to draw more defense towards the 3-point line, and then more people have room in the paint. So it's a game. You gotta balance it all. It's a statistical game, which apparently Josh Hart does not like analytics. I don't know if you saw that whole thing, but he went on like a 5-minute rant.
I don't think he likes math.
I don't think he has a problem with math. I just think he doesn't like analytiks. During
because it doesn't tell him anything. He
during a post-game
well.
interview, he said after the Eastern Conference Finals, someone said, Josh, you had the best statistical series of your career. And he said, man, statistics are like a lamppost to a drunk. They'll prop you up, but they won't get you home. And that's hysterical, but it's so funny. And they asked him on the podcast this week, like, is that something you say or you had waiting? And he was like, no, I kind of just thought of it on the fly. And they were like, all right. Pretty funny.
No, but you're right. But statistics kind of show what's going on in the game, right? Mm-hmm. San Antonio's got the best defense in the paint. And the Knicks, I have this somewhere, they're averaging 53 points per game in the paint.
I mean, there you go.
Yeah. So the question is, can the Spurs score enough? Like if we're going, right, 120, 130, 140 points, I don't think they can keep up with us. If they can keep it to a low-scoring game, I think it's going to be more difficult for us. If we get the 3-point working, you know what I'm saying?
I agree. I also think that Karl-Anthony Towns is going to be very important to this series. He creates a very unique problem for San Antonio, which is most teams attack Wemby in the paint, which is why they lose there, because Wemby locks down the paint and the rim.
Yeah.
Towns attacks him outside the 3-point line. He'll fade away and then step back and hit a 3. And that makes him a unique issue for San Antonio. I think that if Towns is making pick and pop threes, trail threes, and perimeter jumpers, we are going to be lights out. He can force Wemby into a very uncomfortable position where he's got to make decisions that aren't good defensively one way or the other. That's what we want.
We do. Well, we also want a lot of the quick transition opportunities, the fast breaks, the steals, the big pass, deep, boom, in. They were doing that all day long against Cleveland.
Yes, they were.
And against Philly. But in Cleveland, they were stealing the ball all over the place.
Yes, they were.
You didn't see a lot of that in the Spurs Thunder series. There were not a lot of defense was there, but there weren't a lot of steals. There wasn't a lot of leads. The games were tight all the time. 8-10 points at the most. I think there was one game, maybe it was the game 6, where the Spurs went up by as much as 25 or 26 points. But that was one of the biggest leads of the series.
Right. And I think there's a few – that's one of the – we talked about it before. One of the few of the big factors.
Mike just went a little funny. What happened? Did you change something?
No.
You're on your MacBook Pro microphone all of a sudden. I don't know what you did. But anyway, I can still hear you, so we'll have to deal with it. Let's see. What else we got to talk about for the some of the hidden factors, the things that we got. Well, we already talked about the fact that we've been resting and they've been getting the shit beat out of them, right?
Yeah. And, I think there's a bunch of there's other factors, too. I think the Spurs role players are going to have a huge effect. Can they score enough? Everyone knows Wemby's going to produce. Can Devin Vassell produce? We know Stephen Castle is going to produce, but those are the kind of guys that are going to matter is the bench players or like the less important starters, like Julian Champagny. He's a very good 3-point shooter. It's going to depend on him. And when OKC trapped Wemby, the other players stepped up. So the question is, can New York do a better job at that? Because San Antonio is going to need to step up again. That's for sure.
Yeah, and so the question is it better to arrive battle-tested or arrive fresher?
Yep.
Refreshed, rested, better rested. Battle-tested, better rested.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll have to see what happens with that. Who are you putting your money on? I know you're putting your money on the Knicks. I'm saying, who do you think is going to be the standout player of the series? Now, it's very easy to say Wemby or Brunson, but that didn't happen in was it in Philadelphia? It was more OG and McHale, right?
I think, and I'm going to do the on par, everyone says it answer. The answer is Jalen Brunson. Brunson has
got to bring it home.
Yes. Brunson has been doubted, underestimated, treated like shit, just acted less than towards him his whole career. And here he is. He's won NBA Cup MVP. He's won Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He could be the first player ever to complete the Triple Crown. They're calling it the Triple Crown. Nice. And, you'd be doing it in a Brunson fashion with 3 different MVP awards.
Yeah.
But, I think that if Jalen plays the way that he wants to play, they will win this series, and he will be the most impactful player. Right. I think that Jalen
if he plays Jalen basketball, there's no question about it.
Jalen has been waiting his whole life for this. Do you know that Rick and Jalen are the first father-son duo to be in an NBA Finals competing for the same team?
Right, because Brunson was on the
Rick.
He was
his father.
Rick Brunson. His dad was on which team?
The '99 Finals. He was in the finals with the
Did he
Knicks
get any playing time?
No, he did not.
Okay, well, so he's on the bench, but he was on the roster.
They said to Jalen, "How does it feel?" Like a week ago, they said, "Jalen, how does it feel knowing that your dad was on the last Knicks Finals team, and now here you are leading your team to the NBA Finals?" He said, "My dad was, but did he get any minutes?" And then he was like, "No, I'm just kidding. It's amazing. I'm so happy, but." The job's not finished. And you see them celebrating the Eastern Conference Finals win, and everyone's freaking out over the trophy, and sitting in the corner with the little MVP trophy in his hand is Jalen Brunson, because he's got that Kobe mentality. That's why he's Kobe's NBA current player, because he knows the job isn't finished. Last season, they said, "Jalen, you made it to the Eastern Conference Finals." This was after they lost to the Pacers. Was this a successful season? And he looked at the reporter, and with a straight face, he said, "Did we win the NBA championship?" And they said, "No." And he said, "Right. So it wasn't a successful season."
Right. But beat up, injuries. They were a different team than they were last year. Yeah. So Kim, what do you think we're looking at? We're looking at Knicks in 6. Knicks in 5. What do you think?
6. I think 6. I think San Antonio.
Well, we got to start in San Antonio. That's the hardest part, right?
Dad, we just got to
split with them. Yes. We got to split with them.
And then if we win both in New York, and we lose the next one in San Antonio, and win again in New York in Game 6. That's how it's going to happen.
Definitely.
Yep.
Well, we will have a bit of a post-mortem pre-game 4 look at what's happened this week next Sunday.
Let's hope it's not post-mortem for the Knicks. Holy shit, that was dark.
No, it won't be post-mortem. It'll be after those games are done. That's only 3 games, so hopefully we're up 2-1 at that point.
Mid-series, yeah. Okay? Knock on some wood, please. I'm going to do the same.
Right. And then we'll go through it all, just so people are, if somebody's watching, we're not going to get into it, but things to check out this week are the Soccer Champions League, I think, is in Europe and around the world. Stanley Cup is coming to an end. I think there was the Avalanche and the Knights were in the Western Conference Finals, and the Canadians are still killing it on the Eastern side, so we'll see what happens there.
Yep.
Shohei Ohtani still doing crazy things in Major League Baseball.
Shohei Ohtani, of course he is.
I think the Mariners are in first place now, but maybe not.
And speaking of the Soccer Champions League,
yes.
Josh Hart tweeted the other night, time for a hate watch. And it was the same time as Spurs OKC Game 7. And everyone was like, really? And then he responded, this is about Arsenal, lol. Because it's about soccer. So
right, he's into soccer. And WNBA still heating up.
Yes,
we talked about AZ Fudd and Paige Beckers last week. Yep. Caitlin Clark continues to do unbelievable things. And by the way, and I say this because I went to Cornell, and they're a pretty good lacrosse team. They won last year. Mm-hmm. The Princeton Tigers won the NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championship last week. Beat Notre Dame. Carson. It was their first title in 25 years, so congratulations to the Tigers. And I think Women's College World Series starting up there too. So
soon.
That is what we will talk about next week. The funny thing was I did my notes, and it said something about Novak Djokovic being one of the greatest athletes of all time, and he got knocked out of the French Open early on. So that's still going on too. I think
he's one of the best tennis players of all time, but we can
for sure.
Further
no question about it. Yeah. He was going for his 25th Grand Slam, but he didn't quite make it. So
absolutely,
you can check all that stuff next week. Yeah.
Yes.
So parting thoughts. It's all you. You're the Knicks guy. What do you want to say to wrap up today's show before we get on to watching the game?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, in the name of the Jalen, the OG, and the Karl-Anthony Towns, go New York Knicks. It is time for a finals run, and we shall be watching and anxious but excited. So go Knicks, go New York, go New York, go. We'll finish our whiskey, and then we'll sign off.
We will see you all next week on another episode of Benches and Bleachers. It's going to still be a lot of Knicks, I got to tell you that, because we're in the thick of things. But there are some things we didn't talk about this week going on in the NFL. Things happen with the Giants, right? OBJ signed on. We'll talk about that next. We'll talk about that next Sunday.
Braxton Berrios, all that's coming next week.
We'll talk about it next week. So until then, go New York, go New York, go.
Go New York, go New York, go. I'm Camden from Fort Worth.
And I'm Mitch from New Jersey, Westfield, New Jersey.
And this has been another episode of Big Apple Benches and Bleachers. Go Knicks.
See you guys next week. Go Knicks.